What's going on, everybody? And yes, I finally decided to put something else out on YouTube beside my music. So, I'm gonna cut straight to the chase. Yes, I'm sorry, I intended on having this video out way sooner, like months ago sooner. I just finally got around to it, had the free time. And yeah, so I'm gonna have really good footage for most of my stuff, but kind of worse footage as we go, possibly. But yeah, so anyways, first off, my beauty, just the thing that I've had for I don't know how many years now. Let's see, at least 3, maybe 4 years now. My Ibanez RG450DX. Yes, the one you may have found my channel from, whoop-de-doo. And anyways, love this guitar. I've had trials after trials with the floating trim, but you know, that's helped me learn more about it and everything. And yeah, so next up, I have one of my newest additions to the family. It's a Jackson Rhodes J32T, something like that. I'll find the specific model, but I can't find many online just like this because of the pickup covers or something like that. It's kind of weird, actually. First, I thought before I bought it off of a friend and cleaned it up that it might have active pickups or something, but yeah, so it's not my go-to. I, use it here and there. There's some problems with the bridge I still need to fix, so yeah. Next up is this old Harmony Strat from probably sometime in the 80s. So this is actually my dad's guitar, his only electric he's ever owned. And over the past little bit after Christmas, I was wanting to work on my next guitar I'm about to show, but I couldn't find some right pieces. Yes, I got a new switch, new jack, everything, wired it all up. The middle pickup does not work, but that's kind of cool to have, that big of a separation between the bridge and the neck pickups and still, be able to toggle between both of those. And also the switch is kind of busted, so my bridge position is actually straight up and down. Next up is this Dean Evo XM something other. I don't remember it all. That was actually my very first electric I can say was, belonged to me. Like I previously mentioned, I was wanting to really fix it up and have it so I can play it, because why not? It's a hard-tailed guitar, and I was really wanting to have it done by now, and for whatever reason I cannot find a replacement bridge that will fit it just right. Anyways, as far as acoustic guitars go, I've got a couple, nothing fancy. I probably won't even put them on here. If you ever see one or two of them, you see them. And also my drum set, I don't feel like filming that. Plus, it's lower quality anyways, so yeah. Next up, moving to my pedal board. So, first of all, I've got some of those pedals from a video I made a long time ago, about this time last year, if not earlier. So yes, I still have that Digitech HT2 tuner. It's a little sharp compared to most tuners, but I mean, it works for, just playing live or something like that. It's perfectly fine. Next up is a Vox Wah. That's one of the few that I got about this time last year. Works perfectly fine. I like it. I just, sometimes it comes in handy, sometimes I don't use it. Next up, I am currently borrowing this Digitech Whammy Ricochet from a friend. Next up is probably my most handy pedal next to my distortion, the Wampler Ego Compressor V2, and I'm not really going to go into depth what it does. You can look that up. There's a billion videos that tells you what a compressor pedal does and everything. So yeah. Next up is the Boss SD1. That was the last pedal that I got about this time last year and finally getting to really use. I actually did a mod to it. I removed one of the capacitors. I don't remember which one, but I told a little bit of a difference when I've used it. Haven't really used it much since because it's buffered bypass and not true bypass. And yeah, usually, even though I leave everything ran through it, I just make sure the drive's all the way down and don't get much fizzing from it. After that, we have one of the best pedals I have on here. It is the Fender Pugilist Distortion. I like it for many reasons. I kind of look at A as the, clean kind of overdrive side, and then B as the heavier side. This isn't really a high gain pedal, but I mean, it'll work. And last but not least is the DoD Bone Shaker. That is another pedal I am borrowing from a friend, same friend from the Digitech pedal. It's not my most favorite pedal in the world. It's got its own place, and I'm not huge on the way that everything works on it, but I mean, like I said, it's unique. If that's what you're going for, there you go. And powering it all, I have the Voodoo Lab Pedal Power 4x4. I figured that'd be the most versatile one I could get for now, and maybe sometime in the future I can upgrade to the Mondo or something. And the pedal board itself is actually homemade. I didn't buy this anywhere, and yeah, I kind of like, the whole homemade factor of it. I'm using some 3M dual lock to hold my pedals on. It better than normal Velcro. Next up is my amp. It is the Fender Mustang. I don't know if it's a V2 or it's the first one. I don't remember. I would definitely recommend it for a beginner guitarist, but someone like me, you know, writing their and recording their own music, sometimes it kind of gets in the way. You can kind of emulate it's a modeling amp, and you can kind of emulate the sound of like speaker cabs and stuff. I've had that turned off with a computer software called Fender Fuse, and just want to run pedals straight through it. And I think I mainly use for the pedals a deluxe reverb or something of the sort. Just leave it clean and run the pedals through it. But I'm thinking about maybe messing around with some of the heavier options and stuff for higher gain stuff until, you know, I can get a better amp. Next up, microphones. This is my AT2020. That's my first microphone. Had it for over a year now. And yeah, really like it and appreciate it. Really the main mic I use for my drum recording. My next microphone, which was a newer edition that probably has worse footage, is the SM57. Trusty and dusty, sure, SM57. It's what I'm currently using to record this voiceover with. Pretty impressive what it can handle. I like that it's a dynamic. I think you need at least one of each to really explore options. And yeah, and actually I decided I tried using both as overheads, but it would be best to either have 2 dynamic or 2 condenser. And so for right now, I'm just still going to have to stick to more of a mono setup. I hate that, but I'm thinking about messing around with some stuff and seeing what I can come up with. So next up, the more production side of things. I have a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. Like I said, 2 inputs, so I really a little limited with drum recording for now, but that's fine. Probably have to upgrade sometime. Next, I don't really have a dedicated set of monitors, either speaker or headphones. So for right now, as far as headphones go, I've been using my SteelSeries Arctis 5 headset. From everything I've read, it's pretty balanced and everything on itself. I know it's not open-eared and those are better for mixing and stuff, but they'll have to do for now. And like I said, I don't really have any monitors. I found these old Dell speakers up in the cabinet that came with like an old family computer a while ago, probably like over 7 years ago at least. And they work for now. I just really, whenever I'm finishing up a song, I'll play it through that and make sure, you know, I've not got anything too hard panned over here, over there. I really want to make sure everything's all equal. And yeah, I know they're not the best things in the world, but like I said, they'll do for now. And next up, something I more or less recently started using. I've had this old Radio Shack keyboard forever now, and I've seen it said MIDI on it a while back, and I plugged it in and tried to see if I could get anything to work with it, and it wouldn't. But I realized that this keyboard's really just a Casio, however you say it, keyboard inside of this. So I found some drivers for one of those, and it'll work with that. And yeah, so now I've got an actual way to play stuff and maybe do MIDI drums and whatnot in whatever DAW I'm using. And last but not least, the DAW softwares themselves. So I've been going back and forth. I was using Pro Tools first, but there's 15 track limit, and even though you can kind of, you know, get around that limit by bussing stuff and everything, I really wanted to go for something a little bit better. I used Ableton, and there's also, in the version I've got, there's an 8-track limit, and not really the easiest thing to deal with in the world, especially 8's worse than 15. I've recently started using Reaper. It's a very good DAW for what it does, and it also has MIDI support, so I literally can just take stuff from Ableton and put it into there and then run the same plugins and everything. And there we go. I've still got all my stuff. And lastly, before I finish off the video, I just figured I would throw this out there. I use a service called DistroKid. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it. It's one central place that you can upload your music to, and it'll put it in every store for you, something you really kind of have to have modern day for streaming and stuff. Spotify, Apple Music, every store, Amazon, Google, everything. It will even do an auto-generated YouTube channel with your stuff on it. DistroKid lets us artists have a code that you can share with people, and here's my code. You'll be able to get 7% off if you sign up using this code, and it'll help me out just a little bit too, so it's always good to help people out, right? Anyways, thank you all for watching this. I'm sure it's not really going to be a very widely watched video, mainly just people like myself who like to see how other people record their music and stuff. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope this has been a help. If you have any questions about anything, just hit me up in the comments and I'll be sure to respond best I can. I'm planning on releasing some new music soon and hoping I can get everything all finished very shortly. I'm planning on also getting an album out over the summer, so that's going to be fun. I keep writing songs instead of just recording the ones I've had ready for over a year now. So that's been very interesting. And anyways, thank you all for watching. Have a good whatever time of day you're watching this, and God bless.